Welcome to another episode of the Cypher with KJ Mal. This is season 4, episode 29 in my lifetime with the legendary icon head coach, Maurice Fitzgerald Sr, man. Give yourself a round of applause, crowd, man. I love y'all, man. I love this, man. And this show is sponsored by Les Ball Brand, the best brand, athletic brand in the city. Y'all go holler at my man Les Ball at lesball.com. And the show is sponsored by Yancy Milan Home. She got the best candles, best bath salts, best body butters for your ladies. Go down to 1750 Lee Road down in Atlanta, Georgia, or go to yancymilan.com and get all your candle needs. But right now, I'm about to kick it to my homeboy, host of the First of 10 podcast, plus the 3-time straight winner, championship winner, head coach, 3 down at the Bottle program down here in Nashville, Tennessee. Y'all give it up for Rashad Fox. What's going on, man?
Thank you, man. Thank you. That's 4, man. That's 4.
That's 4. I'm sorry,
man.
You win so many, man. You know, you got so many kids out here, man.
Man, it's all good. It's all good. Appreciate
how you been, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm good, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me on with the coach here, man.
Legendary.
Man, legendary.
I had to get you here because, I know you're a coach. And Mal, y'all asking about Mal. He got some things going on. He down to Albuquerque, New Mexico, trying to find out what's the best cheese to put on nachos. So,
he had to take the trip.
Yeah, been taking a trip.
Good call. Had to take the trip.
Mal cheddar wasn't good, so we had to get sharp. So.
Yeah, he had to talk to the people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Find out. Taste it. Mm-hmm.
You know what county getting it from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. But right now, we here at the Aloft Hotel, 1719 West End Avenue, man. We in the penthouse, and we got the legendary icon, 2-time state champ. Nobody ain't did it since 81, and he did it twice. All Metro Sports Hall of Fame inductee. My coach, Maurice Fitzgerald Sr.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What's up, KJ? Rough Fox coach. We're in the penthouse.
Yeah.
Better than being in the outhouse.
Man, already, coach. And I just want to, tell you thank you for everything you've done, man. You really put your stamp as far as head coaching, being a man of your word and a man of God, and I want to thank you for that, Coach.
I appreciate you. No doubt about it. You kept me awake when I used to pick you up every morning.
Oh, man. You still remember that? Yeah, we in the Ranger in the back? Yeah.
That's it. Every morning.
Oh, yeah, Coach. But I just want to start off, and the people don't know you out there. When did it start off? I know you was at Hume Fall. Was that 71?
I graduated in 74.
74.
From Hume Falk High School.
Okay.
And then I went on to Tennessee State and played football there.
Okay, Alvin Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
John Merritt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The great Joe Gilliam. How did it feel, getting that tutelage back then?
Well, if you look at it, the combination of those 3 were probably the best in college football. If you look at it from the defensive standpoint, a defensive genius, Coach Coleman, front runner of no huddle, all these kind of different offenses. Basically started at Tennessee State.
Wow.
And it was second to none, with it was the brain power and how they were able to coordinate with each other as a coaching staff. If Coach Merritt was here today with the NIL deals, he'd probably be a millionaire.
Oh, yeah. Everybody would have come down to Tennessee State and play. Coach, I want to ask, excuse me, did you start playing football at Hume Falk, or did it started, back, when you were your younger years?
Well, it started with Junior Pro, which I, talk a lot about the ones that are doing Junior Pro. I have a great admiration for those gentlemen that are doing that for the young youth. But I started with Junior Pro, and back then, like I said, it was 7th, 8th, and 9th was junior high, and then high school started at 10. So I played Junior Pro up until, I got to the 10th grade, and I started playing football again at Hume Falk. Pretty much I was threatened by my brother to play, so I said, I guess I better.
Oh, man.
He's kind of crazy.
Who used to get recruited by out of high school?
Nobody. 0 recruits, no stars, none of that. As a matter of fact, I walked on just because I had some friends said they were going to walk on. So we walked on during the summer, and they wind up leaving, going to Knoxville College, and I was just stayed. didn't know what college was about, didn't have any idea what was going on. And after a while, since I was there, I stayed throughout. And next thing you know, I was in the dorms. There was time to practice during the fall. So I was a walk-on at Tennessee State, and I started 4 years. My redshirt year, I played illegally because I got to play and it didn't count. It's kind of like what they're doing now with what they're doing now as far as you get this year back with the coronavirus. But my first year was redshirt. In the next 4 years, I started. Was a captain there, was All-American there. And then I got a free agent contract to play with the Philadelphia Eagles. And so I looked at it as a 4-week summer job. I didn't make the team, but it was a lot of great experience. And then I kind of caught the bug, said I wanted to come home and coach, and I decided to do that.
What was your first coaching job, Coach?
Actually, it was a basketball job at Hume Fall.
I keep forgetting you was coaching basketball.
Yeah, basketball was my sport, basketball and baseball. I did football. It was fun. I coached softball, coached all the sports. So any sports pretty much I could coach. And so I started my coaching career at Hume Fall with ninth grade basketball.
Okay. What year was that?
Oh, shoot. Probably about 82, I don't know, somewhere along in there.
Okay. So your first head coaching job, was it at Hillsborough?
No. It was, like I said, it was basketball, ninth grade basketball.
I'm sorry.
And
Yeah,
then I coached. I started coaching at Pearl Cohn as an assistant coach, and then I went to Hillsborough in 1985 to 1989, and after that, I had Mose Phillips and some of those guys, and some people know about Darryl Miller, Brandon Miller, out of Cane Ridge, #1 player in Tennessee and #6 overall. Well, his dad played for me, and so from there, the Pearl Cohn job came open, and nobody wanted it. And I didn't want it either because we had just played Pearl Cohn that year. And we
Why
actually...
you didn't want it, Coach?
No, because I was the defense coordinator. We just beat Pearl Cohn 50-0. So, I'm not going there either. Nobody wanted to go there. So I talked it over with my wife, and she said, well, basically, it's an opportunity for you to get a head coaching job. And I'm like, man, that's suicide. So I don't know why I took it, and I guess get the good Lord to intervene. So I took the job. Nobody wanted it, and I could see why when I got there, because some of the things weren't in place or conducive to winning or anything like that. None of they didn't have equipment, they didn't have uniforms. It was just bad. You have to do your helmets.
About what? That was 89.
About 90.
90.
Yeah,
right on the
yeah.
cusp.
Yeah, you had to recondition your helmets and send them off. I knew how it was done because we had done it at Hillsborough. But their recondition constituted of taking the insides out of helmets and putting them in the wash machine, washing them. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. So everybody started kind of having headaches at the end of the year. And I'm like, man, I know what's going on. So as soon as that year was over, I said, we can just make it through the year. I'm going to make sure things are done right here at Pearl Cohn. And that's what we began to do, raise money and some of those things.
And I was saying that, Coach, because I was up there. My brother, he was a freshman, and then he was a sophomore. He was sophomore, started, I want to say center, number 60, with Joel Johnson, Big Jody.
Yeah, Jody.
But y'all was real competitive.
Exactly.
Real competitive, Coach.
At that time, there were a lot of good teams, Fall Ryan, Overton, all those teams had good teams, and we were just trying to make sure that we were competitive. That's the thing, because before that, they just didn't have a competitive spirit. If you have a competitive spirit, then you'll be able to do things that you don't think you can do. So I needed to instill that in that culture, the first thing. So I knew winning would eventually come about. Didn't know when, but I knew it would if you get some people and get some coaches that were able to help.
Yeah, shout out to Coach C. Brooks.
Big C.
Yeah, man.
The C Biscuit.
Yeah, C. Biscuit, all those guys, man.
Coach Reed, Coach Reed. Danny Franciscan.
Coach Fran, all of that's when I was there then. But I seen.
Yeah, you my starting quarterback. I don't know why you left and went to Whites Creek. You starting quarterback. That was an issue, and I blame Steve for that.
Oh man. Oh, Coach, man. Hey, I still regret that.
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Okay.
And looking back on it, and even then, you were exceptional quarterback, and but I understood because you had come up through with all your friends and Ewan Park and all that, and you wanted to be back with your friend. I can understand. I wasn't even mad. Matter of fact, I think that, I made it where you could go back and still be eligible. So that's the other thing. A lot of times that people leave your school. If they leave your school, then that's fine. You need to help those kids leave because it's not benefiting you to do things to make them ineligible. So, but I knew that you had extraordinary talent and just wish you had stayed, but those things happen.
I wish, Coach. I wish I would have stayed. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to White Creek. I ain't saying nothing wrong with y'all.
Hold on,
Coach.
Oh, yeah, something wrong with White Creek.
Hold on now. Hold on. The White Comprehensive Comprehensive High School.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I knew when I got there, it changed. We was on Go Shakes and working out. I seen the workout gym change, different weights. We got the weights that can bounce now off the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And I seen it change. That was 92
yeah,
and everything.
Yeah.
When did the switch come on, Coach? Because I know you had, Terrell Carter, Twin Tremont, and Terrence. It was coming up. I was winning and going to the playoffs.
I think the one thing that we incorporated was a weight program. If you can really remember when you were there, our weight room was really just one room, and it wasn't conducive to strength and conditioning. And you had to be able to have a strength and conditioning program because it allowed you to stay healthy during the year. Yeah. And it's a guy named Joe Davis, and I can remember doing something for him to help him get a program started in the city. And so I went through the auto mechanics room, which was converted then. It was nothing. It was just there. And I kept walking through there because I would park there and walk through there. So one day I'm like, man, this could be a great weight room. So I went and asked this guy. He said, Coach, yeah, you did something for me. I appreciate it. So he said, how much the weight room? I said, I have no idea. He said, give me a figure. So I did, and it was $205,000. That's why they had a weight room they have today. It's because I went to this guy named Joe Davis. He's dead now. He passed. But Backfield in Motion, he started Backfield in Motion. So I helped him get that program started. And he wrote me a check for $205,000. That's why Pearl Cohn has a weight room that they had second to none back then, and it's probably still good now.
I love it, Coach. I love it, man. When that year, when you went back with the first championship, you went 0-4, and then you just took off. How it feel to go 0-4? How you get the kids back to, hey, we're still on the ball. We still.
Well, we won the first two games, and we had Carlos Watkins. Don't say Carlos Chambers. Yeah. That's funny too. But we had a young man that was our leading rusher the year before, and he went down with a broken ankle. And at that point, we were 2-0. After he got hurt, we lost 4 straight games. And that's the time the late great San Antonio Beard. We were running kind of a wing team offense, and he was kind of the up back. Well, he kept scooting back and back and back, and he was doing some things that we hadn't seen done. So I said, shoot, we might as well switch the offense because it's not about me. It's about what we need to do to win. So we moved him to the eye back. Yeah. And things kind of took off, and but the year before that, I think a couple of years before that, we had got to the playoff. We'd never gone to the playoffs, and that was big.
It was. Yeah, I was out of town then. And everybody was like, man, Pearl, in the playoffs. I'm like, for real?
I was trying to get you back, man.
That was my last year, Coach, in 96. That was with Big Rick and them and everything.
Yeah, I know it.
Shout out to Big Rick, man.
A lot of those guys, man, God bless them, they're going on to glory, but they made a great impact on Pearl Cohn football.
When you got in the playoffs, what was the mentality like this?
Well, the first year, after we had lost 2 and then we won 4 in a row, went through a process that if we had lost any of those games, in actuality we had 9 playoff games, 9 straight playoff games, which is unheard of. If we had lost any of those games in between there, we would have been through. So we just kept building confidence. They started believing in. They believed in one another. We figured that we can play with people, and that's what happened. We just continued to roll, and then at the championship game, we played a team that was 14-0 that hadn't been really, nobody's come close to beating Knox Hall. And so I can remember they getting off the bus, and they looked like this preppy Ivy League school, and we had I told the kids that, look here, man, you make sure y'all double up y'all trash bags, because that's where we carried our uniforms, in trash bags. So I made sure, I said, man, you double it up. You don't want the bags bursting over there at Vanderbilt. So we had trash bags, and they get off the bus, man. They look like this Ivy League school. We're like, man, what is crap we got into? But once you got on the field, everything's even.
Oh, yeah, it is. Because you say you talking about the trash bags, Coach. I still remember getting Mrs. Winter's chicken before the
Oh, man,
before the game.
yeah.
We had baked beans and slaw.
There you go.
Everybody trying to get that breast.
And then you have extra, yeah. Coach, can I have that extra breast?
Can I have that breast?
Man, come on, man. You ain't making no tackles. If you make tackles, you get anything you want.
You got anything to ask for?
Yeah, well, it's crazy that you just was talking, because me and Coach were talking earlier about, he was talking about just building the program and instilling your philosophy in the kids and stuff. And it's amazing just to see, and like I said, I told Coach before we started it, I watched it from afar build program after program after program. And that's not easy to do. You know what I mean? Just to go somewhere and do it over again and do it over again. And what we was talking about, and it's good to just be able to talk to old. I mean, our new generation, they don't want to listen to the older people.
Yeah.
But he just reiterated something to me that I've always thought, like when he said, Santonio, we moved him back in the backfield because he did things that was different. Some of these coaches just want to stick to a scheme and want to be in a scheme, and it's not about necessarily the scheme. You teach toughness and fundamentals. And at the end of the day, that's what you want to instill in
Correct.
the kid, because your scheme can do, it's just anything, but it takes the kid to run the scheme, you know what I mean? So if the kid don't know his basic fundamentals,
Exactly.
what's the use in giving him a plate, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And once you start hitting, that scheme is,
Exactly right. It's not the X's and O's. It's the Gypsies and Joes. So the Gypsies and Joes wins the balls game. So if you got a scheme, you can scheme all you want, but if you don't have anybody executing those schemes, and if you don't have it, you need to be able to play with reckless abandon. You need to be able to run and hit and not think. We had 3 plays. Sometimes people are like, what are plays? These complicated plays. Say, for instance, 38 is really a toss. So I didn't care what they called it. They said, Coach, can we call it toss right? Yep. Can we call it sweep right? Yep. Can we call it 38? Yep. Let's get it done. I don't care what you call it. We running right, and they gonna pull those guards, and somebody got to stop it. I don't care what you call it. You just got to stop it.
You got to stop it.
You got to stop it. That's it.
Yeah, I love that, Coach. I love that.
I love it, man. Coach, on the second one, you just won the first one.
Yeah, but by the time the second one came, we knew that we would be as dominant a football team as there ever been in Nashville. We knew that coming in. Even after the first game, we lost the NBA 22-21, and if you go back and look at that film, you will see about 3 touchdowns called back, fumbles that we should have had that they called. And I remember coming off the field, and I can remember Santonio Beer saying, Coach, you know what, all this was a practice game. This is like a glorified jamboree. And really, that's what we looked at. We just kind of laughed, and then we just started mowing people down, and we dealt with people, and nobody didn't want to play us. It was a different kind of animal what people were dealing with that year.
How many games y'all lost again?
That was the first game and the only game.
Ooh.
Yeah, we went through everybody else. I probably had 7, 8 shutouts. I mean, it was just dominant. I think we scored like 44 points a game, gave up 3.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember, how much do you remember the yard that Santonio ran for in that championship game?
It was about 205 yards.
I was trying, man.
He was talking about that the other day on the podcast.
Man, he was told it that day, boy.
Yeah,
I remember sitting in the stands watching.
Yeah, well, people talk about who's the best back and all that. I said, well, these are the things that you got to. Santonio Beer was the leading rusher in Metro. He was the leading scorer. He was 2-time Mr. Football. He won 2 state championships, and he was 2-time MVP in the Clinic Bowl.
Ain't nothing else to say.
Yeah, you can just leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Make that man no house.
Goatish.
Already.
He might go around here.
Oh, yeah, he the GOAT.
He the GOAT. That's definitely that.
Stamp.
So, Coach, after, you back to back, so you're back in 99.
Yeah, and really, I get, White Creek, I know they're happy about that, because really we were going again. I mean, we had beaten White Creek. I think it was like, I don't know what it was over there. And the second time, there were a lot of strange things happening in that game. We had 3 touchdowns called back.
Was it a muddy game?
No, it was one situation where Tony O'Beard had rushed for about 30 yards. He pushed the ball down. Everybody stopped. Somebody picked the ball up from White Creek.
I remember that.
Yeah, he scored on
It was fixed, Coach.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of things. There was a lot of things going on. But, I take my hats off to White Creek. They won their next game, and then they played Maryville and got beat 42-0. So I don't know.
Ooh, see how he slid in there like that?
Yeah, I see how he done that. I'm be quiet.
Yeah.
No, but it was a great rivalry. There were a lot of good players at White Creek. I take my hats off to them. They did a great job back then.
Yeah. Man, all right, Coach. You was head coaching at Pearl Cohn. Then, I was out of town, but Big Steve was telling me you had a charter school. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it was called Bridges Academy. It was an all boys in the city school, and the only thing about that, it was funded by private funds. If it was kind of charter school then, so it was closed, and we had that for about 3 years, and then this nun, she's about 93, Sister Sandra, she's just a great mind. She was going to open up a charter school, and she said she wanted me to come there. At the time, we had just had a pretty good season, a real good season, but one of my starting tackles, he was killed on Labor Day. He got in the car after Labor Day practice, and about 4 were in the car, and 3 of them didn't have seatbelts on, and they were thrown out. One was killed, and the other one, 2 others was severely injured. So after that year, it was a very hard year. We had a very good team, but after that year I left, I think it was 2005, we started charter school, Smith and Craighead Academy. Yeah. And to this day, Smith and Craighead, we didn't lose a game in football. We just run through people, man. We were dealing with people. In basketball, our record was 77-1. We only lost 1 game, so we won the city 3 straight years in football and 3 straight years in basketball. So.
He was mad at you, Coach.
Everybody was mad at us. Like, man, but see, everybody should have been happy because kids were leaving there and they had to go somewhere. So we were feeder school to a lot of good teams. Pearl Cohn benefits, Hillsborough benefited. You can go down the list of players that came from Smith and Craighead that were able to do great things in
T.J. Carter, one of them.
Yeah, T.J. Carter, which hopefully he'll be drafted this year. It was a bunch of guys, man. Was it Vaughn Payton, that played at the University of Tennessee. It's just a bunch of guys, man, that tremendous middle school players. Nobody, they say, that were team would forfeit, they wouldn't play us. And
wow, for real?
Oh, yeah.
Man, yeah, I was gone then, man.
Well, the games be over in the first quarter.
Oh, yeah.
They should go first play. Second play, third play.
We gone.
Yeah, Benson Perry was on that team.
Yeah, he's upstate now. Getting ready to get ready for his pro day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His mama today.
Oh,
yeah.
Bardo kid.
Yeah, Bardo, yeah.
Yeah, Bardo.
See, Bardo, kids, we all together. I love it.
So we had a monster back then. We dressed well. I raised money. The kids were like private schools. I mean, we had everything that the other schools had, and we traveled, big time. I mean, we made the team feel like they were important. And if they feel like they're important, then they'll play like they're important. They'll act like they're important, and then society benefits.
Okay, Coach, you said that. But 92, you was mad because I got some spat on my leg.
No, I was old school. Still do it. I mean, you coming out this
put all that damn tape on. Look at all that damn tape. We can do whatever. He ain't gonna run nowhere with all that damn tape on your ankle. Man. I said, Coach, I just twist my ankle. It may move.
That was a fake twist. It's just like my coach at Tennessee State, Coach Gilliam. The offense, they could wear tape. They could wear anything they wanted to. But defensively, because we dealt with discipline in the mind and making sure that we were doing the things that we were supposed to do, we didn't need any outside distractions. And so I felt that was outside distraction saying that, hey, look at me. I got white shoes. You didn't get those white shoes, man. You
Everybody
put some tape on.
black.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel you, Coach, man. So after Smith and Craighead, you went back to high school? Was it?
After that, the Smith and Craighead, the middle school was closed, so I went to Overton for a half a year, and then that's when Stratford, I went to Stratford and for 2 years, and I think one year we went deep in the playoffs. Actually, we were 10-11-0. We lost to.
I remember that year. I was back here. Yeah.
So that team was pretty dominant as well. And then I was. Then recently I'm at Hillsborough.
Hillsborough.
I've been there. I was there coaching for 5 years. This year I didn't coach. I'm just teaching now.
Okay.
And just helping raise money and helping some of the other coaches and getting the opportunity to go around to some of the middle schools and some of the junior pros to just try to help them out as much as I can.
Yeah, man, Coach, I seen you retire and everything. How it feels to be inducted to the All Metro Hall of Fame?
It's pretty good. You know, you don't set out for those things, but if you get those accolades along the way, you know, that's fine too. But you know, it's something that I don't really, you know, go out and just try to, I need to be in here, so doing that. That's really doesn't concern me. It really, but you know, you're grateful and thankful for you know, people looking at you saying that you've accomplished some things.
Yeah, because I was talking to Marcus on the other podcast. He was like, man, my daddy need a statue at Pearl, man, at least the field or something. That's what he said or something. But I'm like, yeah, you need to name the field out the coach. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I've been saying.
Oh, man, you know,
it's coming.
When I die, they go, oh, man, we got to get a statue for that man.
Yeah, they didn't see that. I
We
like
giving you flowers now.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good, man.
So being retired coach and being an HBCU alum, how you feel the transition of coaching now?
With the coaching they have now,
like with Eddie George, Hugh down at Grambling now. So
I think it's extremely important that he surrounds himself with a good staff. That's the most important thing. Just like a corporation of business, if you don't surround yourself with good people, it's going to fail. So you need good people, you need good coaches, you need good administrator. I mean the AD, I know him extremely well. Kind of had a hand in helping him get the AD job a little bit. So I know Mickey, Dr. Allen, that came from University of Tennessee. Matter of fact, he played with Buck on the national championship team at the University of Tennessee. So I know Mickey, and so I'm involved with that a little bit, trying to help. But as far as Eddie's going, we have alumni. Matter of fact, there's one of my guys that I coached at Pearl Cohn, Reno Thompson, that's now over the Alumni Association. So we're behind him and pushing him and undergirding him to make sure that he can be involved with a lot of processes as far as athletically at Tennessee State. So Eddie's going to have help. We understand that. You got to give him an opportunity. It didn't get like this overnight. That was the reason why it's kind of, in some ways, deplorable. But I think they'll get back on the right track if we continue to just, you got to bring people in. Like I said, it's the Gypsies and Joes.
I've been crying for the last 10 years. I mean, why Coach Fitzgerald, head coach at Tennessee State?
I don't need those headaches. It was enough with y'all.
Yeah, I understand that, Coach. But I wanted to ask this, you being an HBCU alum again, and it's just the shift of kids going to HBCUs now. Do you think integration killed that?
Well, I know that when you're good, people gonna come after you. Even whatever you're good in. If you're good at shooting marbles, somebody wants you to come and shoot marbles with them.
Yeah.
So back in the day, all the good players and black players, they were going. That's the only way they could go. Until they got beat. Alabama got beat by USC. When Sam the Bam Cunningham is around the Cunningham's big brother. When they found out that those guys could play and the way they handled them and beat the mess out of them, so the integration started then. They started plucking those good players away because if you look at the Hall of Fame, it's dominated by HBCU players.
Yes, sir.
So, but now it's going in reverse. People seeing that you can get the same results by going to HBCUs, and especially with Dion coming in and doing what he does, has made a great impact on HBCUs and get those and also the NIL contracts, getting those kids where they can get paid now, even at HBCUs, and that's the biggest thing, is making sure that you graduate and get paid along the way.
Ain't nothing wrong. Think you good with that, Coach?
I'm great. That's I think it should have been that way a long time ago. It's almost free labor. And so the coaches can get up and they can move and they can get other jobs anytime they want to, and there's not any problems with issues with that. So I think the one-time transfer rule is just great. You should be able to do that without any conflict or whatever, saying you can transfer at one time. That's good.
That's good, man.
Nah, man, I just explain, Coach. You had a family coming up while you was doing all this, and kind of explain like how you balance? Because I know your boys, both of your boys now, you know, Buck do his thing with the kids and making sure just the balance of, you know, your family life with making sure that, you know, you're doing the football, you know, with the other kids and just how they helped you through that. Because I know it's tough trying to balance, you know.
Well, I think sometimes even coaches now, and even one in particular, that their kids didn't go to the schools that they went to. All my kids, my nieces and nephews, all of them went to Pearl Cohn when I was there. So, you know, it was like a family. So, you know, I had to be able to balance that. But having them there, you know, I think it was a good thing because a lot of times when they met friends or whatever, I brought some of those kids home and fed them and some of those things that I've forgotten about now. But you made everybody a part of your family.
Yeah.
And I think they saw that. I think that even my own sons, I think that even now, you know, they played a great part in my development because they allowed me to foster and mentor other children while they were there. So my hat goes off to my own children for what they did in the past, allowing me to be able to be a father figure, a friend, a mentor to some of their classmates.
Yeah, that's amazing. I take my hat off to them too. That's why I asked you because you know both of those guys. You know, I see them and they good dudes and they you know behind you the whole time. So just you know I asked them about the balance because you know I do the same thing, coach, and just the balance with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know you can do that, and like I said, you know they're going the same way, so you can. You know, give them a ride then when they didn't have a car, so they're going the same way, and you see them all day. So it was a good thing. And then, you know, some of the players that you meet along the way and try to help develop them, that's what most I'm proud of. I mean, proud of Kevin. I mean, I can't believe you, boy, doing this. This is great.
Man, thank you, Coach. Man, I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate it, man. That means a lot coming from you.
Yeah.
For real. You know, we're going to shift back. You coach so long, Coach. How you keep the mental toughness and keep getting up every day coaching?
I think you just invest in people more so than seeing coaches. You see them as even just regular students at school. You know, you treat them just like you would your football players, and you just try to make sure that you try to laugh every day because if you don't, man, it's a grind.
Man.
But I like everybody say, "Why you do it?" I say, you know, I have to get up early anyway, so I get to school probably about 6:15. But most of the time my class is over about 1, so I can make it through that day.
Oh, yeah, that's quick. Yeah, get off early. Not early, but, you know.
It is early.
It's early enough. Yeah, 1 o'clock.
It's early.
It is. And I got another one, Coach. I ain't gonna ask that yet. I'm gonna save that question.
But that was a Ron Slay question.
No. Shout out to Ron, man. Shout out to Ron.
He got everybody coming to strike out to get them lemon pepper wings, man.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, y'all come by strike out Kool-Aid. It's the Kool-Aid right here, baby. I got to have it. Best Kool-Aid in the city.
That's what he said.
Ain't nobody making Kool-Aid better than me.
That's
what
what
else?
he said.
Mama, your auntie, your auntie, your cousin. I got the best Kool-Aid in the city. I ain't playing.
Yeah, strike out wings, man. You and Lane, man.
Yeah.
Y'all get that, man. But Coach, I want to ask, how you being a coach and having an athlete from a broken home, they got stuff going on at the house, and no daddy there. They can't make it to practice. You can tell they acting out or whatever. How you deal with that?
Well, you know, Coach Fox, he asked me a question about players. A lot of times people say, and they're lying, and if they say it, but if they say that, or they may even believe it, but you can't treat all kids the same. You can't treat all athletes the same, but you can love them all. And if they say they treat them, if I have a player that I know that if I get on him, that he's going to just stop, he's going to melt, he's just going to lose it. So, and then I got another athlete that if I get on him, that makes him play better. I can't treat both of them the same. I have to treat them differently, but I can love them both. And I think that love has a multitude of fault. If you see that they know that you love them, and you can coach them hard, but you can't coach them the same. So that I can't, and maybe somebody else can, but I'm not going to treat them the same. I'm not going to tell a parent I'm going to treat all of them the same. Nope.
Yeah, you gotta tell him.
Yours a knucklehead. He getting hit.
Exactly.
You know you're a knucklehead when you brought him down
it,
there. Yeah.
But Coach, the top 5 players you ever seen or just coached? I ain't gonna say ever seen, just you coached under your tutelage. You know how to put that out there, coach.
Man, he got three other boys in the mic. This ain't the barbershop, is it, coach?
Can't say that, coach.
Nope.
Okay. Can't do that. Okay. Everybody, even when I can't do that one, I feel you, coach. I got that.
Old saying that I'm stupid, but I ain't crazy.
Oh, man. You're going to be a lot of people upset, like, no, what you talking about, man? Yeah, I tried. I had to put it out there.
How you like watching Pearl play today, coach?
Well, I tell you what, I enjoy going to see him. I think that, one thing that Pearl Cohn has established is a culture. If you look at it, I think it's about 5 guys that I coach, and the head coach and the assistant head coach, I hired them. So there's 7 guys that are basically off my tree, and they've done a good job within themselves. But Damon and Sweet Pea and all those guys, Coach Burnett, I hired him. I hired Brandon Woods. So there's 7 guys that, nothing changed. So over the last 30 years, Pearl Cohn's only had 2 coaches. And a lot of people, if you look at it that way, if you look at, say, a Weiss Creek, or you look at a lot of other schools, they've had multiple coaches, and that means multiple philosophies and other things and multiple fundraising ideas, and the kids are never been able to get, something that's, just concrete, something that's consistent. And so I think that's why why Pearl Cohn winning? Because they've had 30 years of the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
You're right.
That's why you go, coach. You laid it down. You put that concrete down a long time ago, and that building's still standing.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
Good foundation.
Yeah.
Coach, since you retired and everything, a young black coach trying to get into coaching, what advice you will give him?
I'll give him that, you can't get in, you want to win. It's a primary objective. But you got to understand that a lot of things that go in development of athletes and development of players, that you got to be there. And really, if you be honest, it's almost, a 24-hour deal. I mean, because you're responsible for those kids from all day doing school, all day after school, sometimes even when they get home. So if you're not willing to pull those kind of hours and things like that, you're in the wrong profession. I mean, just in the black neighborhood, it's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I knew how to do it. If you want to not do that, then I don't see. You can be successful, but that's the only way. So you got to put some time in, even down to the junior pro. If you look at what these young men are doing, and I told Coach Fox that, and then Coach Jody that you got to put time in. You got to sacrifice, and a lot of times it's not you. And Steve, I don't know how you got a beautiful wife like that, but I'm gonna tell you, this is the deal. And the reason why I say that, if your partner or your spouse is not willing to go along, there's gonna be a lot of arguments. I mean, and I know I've been married 43 years plus, so you're gonna have some issues. So you got to be on the same accord.
Man, I love that, Coach. I love it. Coach, you got anything?
Yeah, no, that's what I was like. It's hard to balance that. You gotta have good people around you. Like, I'm sure your wife, she done held you down with the kids and everything for you to be able to be in. Like I said, man, Coach, I thank you.
Yeah, well, I can remember this coming home, and I was telling my wife, man, those kids, they need to do this, and it's about, man, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. She looked at me, she said, well, truth of the matter is, it's not your team. And so it really got to me, like, it's not your team, it's their team. And so they have to buy into the philosophy and the other things, but you got to give them opportunity to grow within your program because it is their team.
Mm. Yeah, that's right. It's their team.
Yeah.
Just coaching them up.
So when you coach, when you start, what's like the basis of your foundation to start like with your program? I mean, I know you want like a philosophy, right? And then like the culture, set the culture, and then what else like goes into just starting?
The biggest thing is, and I include this with myself, I said, nobody's bigger than the team.
Right.
Not me. If I come in here and I'm doing stuff and I'm lying and doing something or drinking in front of you, I need to go. So that's why I feel that nobody's bigger than the team. So don't ever put yourself bigger than the team. No coaches, no players, no managers. Nobody's bigger than the team, and that's when you got to get focused. So you have a focused goal. Everybody has that ability to lean and guide towards one specific goal, the team and what they do and how they do it. And so nobody's bigger than the team.
Nobody's bigger than the team. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody bigger than the team. Yeah. Coach, I want to tell you, man, I love you.
Love you, brother.
And Fox, I want to thank you for coming, man.
I appreciate you for having me on here with Coach, man, for real. Been able to pick his brain. A lot of stuff he was telling me today, I'm like, man, okay, yeah, Coach.
Yeah, because I seen you over here chopping it up
and
everything. So this is Scott Sykes Entertainment Production, man. This is episode 29, season 4, in my lifetime with the legendary coach, Maurice Fitzgerald Sr., man. We want to thank everybody for coming in. Give yourself a round of applause.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, Coach, but I want to say this show is dedicated to Santonio Beard, Ricky McDowell, D'Angelo Kennedy, Pache Stevenson, Carlos Franklin, D.D., like I said, D.D. Emerson. You know what I'm saying? We lost a lot of guys.
Flagpole.
But yeah, one of the good guys, man. And this show is sponsored by Les Ball, the Les Ball brand, man. Go to lesball.com for your clothes and everything. He's running from the middle school to the high school, man. And I love this guy, man. What up, Meech? What up, Big Steve? Love y'all. And we're going to catch y'all on episode 30. Peace, love, church.